everyone, welcome to the Penguin Teen Preview Show. I am your host Felicity, and today we're going to be looking at some of the biggest titles coming for spring 2022. To help me out on the show, I've got some people from Penguin Teen who work behind the scenes, but now I get to see some faces. First off, welcome to the show, Bezzy.
Hi everyone, I'm Bezzy from Penguin Teen, and I work with Felicity on the marketing team on social media. You might have seen me on Record Reads and occasionally on TikTok.
And next up, welcome to the show, Liana.
Hi everyone, I'm Liana from Penguin Teen. I work at the marketing department here, and I'm so happy to be telling you about our next upcoming books.
And two new faces who are joining us for the first time on Penguin Teen Live. It's Caitlin.
Hi everyone, I'm Caitlin. I work with the publicity team here at Penguin Teen. So excited to be here.
And finally, this face might be familiar to some of you who watch our Instagram Record Reads shows every Friday. And if you're not watching them, what are you doing? But welcome to the show, Elise.
Hi everyone, I'm really excited to be here today. You might see a couple surprise appearances from my cat Jelly, but I work in editorial and I'm really excited to be presenting my two titles to you today because I actually got to work on both of them, so that's really exciting.
Okay, so I am super excited to be kicking off today's event with Empires and Echoes. You might know Morgan Rhodes best as the author from the best-selling series, The Falling Kingdoms. Well, she's back with a whole new fantasy duology that will leave you reading until the crack of dawn. In Empires and Echoes, we're taken to a world where magic is illegal, and when Jocelyn Drake becomes infected by a dangerous piece of magic, she finds herself living her worst nightmare. She's forced to team up with the very annoying, but also very handsome criminal Jericho Knox. Together, they go on this wild journey to extract this magic, but Joss soon starts to see the world outside of her pampered life and begins to question the beliefs she's always taken for granted. But in a world built on lies, the truth might be her greatest weapon. This is an action-packed read that is impossible to put down once you've started. It's filled with incredible world building, danger, intrigue. It has something for every reader. And did I mention that it also has a swoon-worthy enemies to lovers romance? Empires and Echoes is a must-have for your next fantasy series, but you don't have to wait too long. It hits shelves January 4th, 2022. And I'll kick it over to Elise for our next title.
For that, Liana, that sounds so awesome. I'm really excited to be telling you about your new favorite YA fairy tale retelling, The Bone Spindle by debut author Leslie Vedder. This is a gender-swapped Sleeping Beauty meets Indiana Jones with tons of action, charm, humor, and of course, romance. Prince Briar Rose has been asleep for 100 years, waiting for the girl who will wake him with a kiss. Fee is a bookish historian treasure hunter about to set off to the ruins of Andar to look for treasure with Shane, her kick-ass girl mercenary that also happens to be Fee's partner in crime. When Fee finds a magic spindle in the ruins and pricks her finger, now we're seeing the Sleeping Beauty bit here, right? She somehow unleashes the spirit of Briar Rose and is literally stuck with him forever unless she can find him, kiss him, and break the curse herself. But Fee and Shane will have to go through countless deadly traps and riddles that protect these magical ruins, as well as a few quips with crushes along the way. Fee and Shane are both incredible heroines. They make Indiana Jones literally look like the definition of a sidekick, and that's why I love this book so much. Their banter and humor really carry the story, and you can't help but want the best for them. If you're a fan of Marissa Meyer's The Lunar Chronicles, I think The Bone Spindle is going to be your new favorite book. And now I'm going to kick it off to Bezzy.
Thanks, Elise. If you're a fan of black fantasy stories with incredible world building like I am, you'll love Akata Woman by award-winning author Nanendia Okorafor. Rejoin Sunny as she embarks on a dangerous quest in the third book of the series that started with Akata Witch. From the moment Sunny discovered she had magic flowing in her blood, she had to both control her powers and navigate the balance between America and Nigeria, the normal world and the world infused with juju, human and spirit, good daughter and powerful leopard person. Now, with the help of her friends, Sunny must embark on a mission to find a precious object that is in her right by blood. Defeating the guardians of this prize will take more from Sunny than she has to give, and triumph will mean she is forever changed. This is a story about inherited debt, responsibility, and stepping up when maybe she shouldn't. You'll definitely not want to miss this thrilling adventure. Now I'll hand it over to Caitlin for the next title.
Next up, we have And We Rise, an absolutely stunning poetry collection from Erica Martin that takes readers through the civil rights movement of the 50s and 60s in breathtaking verse. It's one thing to read about Martin Luther King Jr.'s I Have a Dream speech or the journey of the Little Rock Nine in your textbooks, but Erica's poetry takes what you learned in school about these heroes and breathes new life into their stories in a way that truly brings the dedication and heroism of these activists to the forefront. And I was so surprised to learn that this is actually Erica's debut book. After reading her poetry, I was certain she had to be an old pro. So it's clear from the publication of this book that we'll be hearing a lot more from Erica in the future. So for readers who are fans of Amanda Gorman, looking for a new collection of poignant and timely poems to inspire them, or even just someone who wants to dive deeper into the civil rights movement than what you've covered in your school's curriculum, this is your next great read. And up next, we have a video from the author of Sunny G's series of Rash Decisions, Navdeep Singh Dhillon.
Hi everyone, my name is Navdeep Singh Dhillon. I am the author of the upcoming YA contemporary Sunny G's series of Rash Decisions, which is out February 8th, 2022. I'm very excited to talk to you all about it. It's set on prom night in Fresno, California, and follows Sunny G, who is a crocheting, cosplaying Punjabi Sikh teen who plays in a heavy metal band. When his brother dies, he leaves him one thing, a notebook, which Sunny is determined to fill with rash decisions. The first one is a pretty big one. He stops wearing his turban, cuts his hair, shaves his beard. He no longer looks like a Sikh, at least on the outside. He doesn't look like himself. Even his cosplay looks a little off without the beard. He debuts his new look at prom, which he stuck going to alone. He's skipping the big fandom party, the one where he'd normally be in full cosplay, up on stage, playing bass, with his metal band and his best friend by his side, Ngozi, in favor of the very important prom experience. An experience that's starting to look a bit like a bust, until Mindy Vang shows up. She's a girl with a penchant for making rash decisions of her own, starting with stealing Sunny's notebook. When Sunny chases after her, prom turns into an all-night adventure, a night full of rash, wonderful, romantic, stupid, life-changing decisions. If you love Adam Silvera's History Is All You Left Me, or Sandhya Menon's When Dimple Met Rishi, this might be your cup of tea, and I really hope you give Sunny G a read. Thank you.
A fantasy heist that is 6 of crows meets One of Us is Lying. Need I say more? I mean, I probably should, that's what I'm here to do. But in this fantasy thriller, 4 teens charged with murder and caught up with the illegal use of magic band together to devise the ultimate jailbreak. This is League of Liars. 17-year-old Kadar Broduck has one goal: to see illegal users of magic brought to justice. Kadar lands a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to apprentice under a premier public defender, and he takes it. But when he meets 3 criminals he's supposed to defend, it no longer seems so black and white. They're teenagers, just like him, and their stories are complicated, just like his. Varden, the prison where Kadar's new clients are incarcerated, also happens to be the very heart of the horrible tear in the veil between their world and another dimension where all magic comes from. If you like enemies to allies like Marie Lou's Legend series, if you like unlikely heist team-ups like The Gilded Wolves, and if you like magic used for good and evil like The Sorcery of Thorns, then A League of Liars is for you, and it's out this February.
Thanks, Felicity. If you love Jane Austen, Jenny Han, and or the web series Emma Approved, this is the tech-savvy matchmaking rom-com for you. Jennifer Yen, the author of A Taste for Love, has returned with another hilarious and heartfelt rom-com. Love Decoded follows high school junior Gigi Wang, who strives to be the best student, the perfect friend, and the ideal daughter. But with college applications looming, she feels like she might not make the cut, despite her best friend Kyle's encouragement. After a new transfer student, Etta, admits she's struggling to fit in at school, Gigi decides to use her coding skills plus the matchmaking experience that she's gotten with her Auntie Rose to create a friend matching app. Etta will meet new people, and Gigi's app will win her teacher's app writing contest and the exclusive tech internship that will guarantee her acceptance to college. It's foolproof. What Gigi doesn't expect is for her app to go viral around school. Soon she finds herself at the center of a scandal, at odds with both Etta and Kyle. Can Gigi fix what went wrong, or will her desire to be perfect cost her the people she cares about most? You'll have to find out in March when this book comes out. And don't worry, this swoon-worthy cover is coming soon. And now I'll hand it off to Julian Winters.
What's up, Penguin Team Virtual Fest? I'm Julian Winters, and I hope you're enjoying hearing about all the amazing books coming up. And I'm here to tell you about my next book, Right Where I Left You, coming March 15th, 2022. It is the geeky, queer book of my dreams. It follows Isaac Martin, a freshly graduated, comic book obsessed Black boy who is on a quest to spend every waking moment of his final summer with his best friend Diego before they begin the next chapter of their lives. Isaac's plans? Attending their first teen pride together, as well as the epic Legends Con comic convention. That is, until Isaac's old crush Dave re-enters the picture, and Isaac forgets to buy the tickets to the con. Now, Isaac has to find a way to save his friendship with Diego while also getting the boy of his dreams. But is Dave the one Isaac's been in love with all along? If you love best friends to lovers, geek culture, complicated family relationships, teens celebrating pride, as well as writing their own happy ending when the world won't give them one, well then you'll enjoy Right Where I Left You, coming March 15th, 2022.
Hey there, Penguin people. I'm Adib Khorram, author of Darius the Great Is Not Okay, Darius the Great Deserves Better, and the forthcoming Kiss and Tell. Kiss and Tell is the story of Hunter Drake. He's the only gay member of a hit Canadian boy band on their first major North American tour, and he's navigating a nasty breakup with his ex-boyfriend, who just happens to be the twin brother of one of his bandmates. He's dealing with what might be a rebound romance with Kayvon, the drummer for his opener, which is kind of a thinly veiled Iranian version of the Jonas Brothers, to be really honest. They're called Parquet, and I think they're really cool. And he's also grappling with what it means to be queer in the public eye, and the way that that people tend to consume young queer folks and queer media in a way that can be really uncomfortable if you're the one being consumed. That makes it sound really heavy, but it's also really fun, really funny. I still managed to squeeze some Iranian food into it. Now that I think about it, I probably should have put more tea in it than I did, but you know, there's always time for tea in the next book. Anyway, Kiss and Tell comes out March 22nd, 2022. I hope you'll check it out and enjoy the rest of the festival.
Hello everybody, it's Joy from Penguin Teen, and I am here to tell you about one of my most anticipated 2022 reads, and that is Hotel Magnifique by Emily J. Taylor. First of all, I think we need to just appreciate this cover, because look at this cover. But second of all, here's a little bit about what's inside the book. Okay, so the book follows Janie and her little sister Zoza, who've basically been poor most of their lives and live in this little port town called Dirk. They are just barely scraping by when Hotel Magnifique shows up. This is a magical hotel that travels from location to location every single day. It's super extravagant and whimsical, and basically everyone wants to go. But they're poor, so it's not like they can afford to stay there. But Janie's little sister Zoza has always wanted to work there. Janie and Zoza then end up with contracts with the hotel to work as part of the staff. However, once inside, Janie realizes that their contracts are unbreakable and the magic of the hotel may not be as great as it seems. And behind all the glitter and glamour of the hotel are some really dark secrets. So Janie and the very handsome doorman named Belle embark on a mission to unravel all the mystery of the hotel and break their contracts for good, as well as those of the staff. But to succeed, she'll have to risk everything, and failure can mean a fate far worse than never returning home. This book is perfect if you love Caravel or the Night Circus, and it comes out April 5th, 2022.
With and Without You, Will Broker is back for another swoony YA, this time tackling long-distance relationships in a novel that's based on their own romantic history. If high school seniors Sienna and Patrick were a label, they'd be the couple most likely to marry. But with college on the horizon, Sienna begins to wonder whether staying together is the best idea. Does she really want to be tied down during possibly the most transformative years of her life? So she makes a decision to break up with Patrick, convincing herself it's for the best. Before she can say the words though, he beats her to the punch. His family is moving out of state. Caught off guard by the news, Sienna agrees to stay with Patrick, believing their relationship will naturally fizzle out and over the time and distance. But over a series of visits throughout the school year, Sienna begins to see a different side of Patrick. one that has her falling in love with him all over again. With Austen and Emily's ever-expanding world, the romance and swoon is there, but this book really looks at identity and what it's like to be defined by people that you're with and without. And a cover revealed is coming very soon to Penguin Teen, so make sure to look out for that one. Now over to Liana.
If you loved Jane the Virgin and the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, you need to get your hands on Flirting with Fate by New York Times bestselling author J.C. Cervantes. In this new charming romantic YA, we meet Eva Granados, who will never forgive herself for being late to her beloved grandmother's deathbed. For generations, blessings have been passed to the woman in her family upon death, but due to a crazy storm that left Eva stuck in a fender bender with a mysterious boy, she arrived seconds too late for her blessing. This story shows a unique look at the afterlife as Nana comes back a ghost and tells Eva she did give her her blessing, but it missed and landed on the boy from the night of the storm. And if Eva can't get her blessing back, Nana will be a ghost forever, unable to rest in peace. This book was such a tearjerker. I know I definitely cried at the end. The family elements in this story will pull at your heartstrings, and the budding romance between Eva and Thunderstorm Boy will make you swoon. Flirting with Fate is perfect for fans of I Am Not Your Perfect Mexican Daughter and Frankly in Love, and hits shelves April 2022. And back to Elise.
So clearly I'm your designated fairy tale retellings fan because I'm back to tell you about the next big romance by YA superstar Melissa De La Cruz called Cinder and Glass, which you might have guessed already, but this is a Cinderella retelling set against the backdrop of 17th century Versailles. Our story begins with a young Cendrillon and her papa at court, where he falls in love with a beautiful woman and then, of course, tragically dies. Cendrillon is left with her stepmother and two stepsisters who treat her like a housekeeper and a seamstress. But when all the eligible maidens are called to a series of balls and events where they'll compete to marry the prince, a la The Bachelor vibes, anyone, Cendrillon sneaks away with a dress of her own to attend. Now, here's the twist. The prince is smitten with her, but Cendrillon prefers his younger brother, which might just be the stickiest situation ever. And as Cendrillon is courted by the prince, she has to decide if she can bear losing the boy she truly loves in order to leave the life she's hated for so many years. Melissa De La Cruz writes the juiciest YA romance around. If you liked her most recent duology, The Queen's Assassin, you will definitely love Cinder and Glass too. It's the perfect swoony read to fill the void Bridgerton left after we all gobbled the entire season up in one sitting. So now back to you, Liana.
Last but certainly not least, I'm super excited to end the night telling you about Remember Me Gone by Stacey Stokes. This is a speculative YA debut thriller about 16-year-old Lucy Miller. Lucy's family has the unique ability to remove people's painful memories, and people come from everywhere to forget. But as she learns her family's trade, Lucy starts to see everything is not what it seems. When she practices memory taking on her dad, his memory won't come loose, and in the bit that Lucy does see, there's a flash of her mom on the day she died, tinged red with guilt. And then she wakes up the next morning without any memory of what happened, so she has no choice but to listen to Marco Warman, a boy she's always wondered about and who seems to know too much. As Lucy and Marco realize there are gaps in their own memories, they team up to fill in the missing pieces. But as the mysteries pile up, one thing becomes clear: there are some secrets people will do anything to keep. Remember Me Gone is perfect for fans of shows like The Undoing and is filled with shocking twists, betrayals, and will unnerve readers till the very end. Find out what really happened in Remember Me Gone by Stacey Stokes in March 2022. And I'll kick it back over to you, Felicity.
All right, that was just a few of the amazing Spring 22 titles that you can look forward to. But before we go, I have to ask my panelists a question. Let's hear about the titles that you most loved in 2021, one book, and one read that you're most excited about for people to read in 2022.
Wow, it is so hard to choose. I think my favorite 2021 read was The Taking of Jake Livingston by Ryan Douglas, although it absolutely scared me out of my mind. And my favorite and most anticipated 2022 read is Starchild by Ibi Zoboi, a Constellation biography of the Octavia Butler.
So my favorite read from 2021 has to be The Corpse Queen by Heather M. Herman. It is a YA historical thriller, and I was literally screaming out of the top of my lungs after I finished reading it. It's so good. It kept me at the edge of my seat the whole time. And my most anticipated book for spring 2022, it has to be Flirting by Fate by J.C. Cervantes. It was such a good swoony read, and it just like, I was crying by the end of it, like literally crying. So I'm really excited for that one.
So my favorite read of 2021 will definitely have to be Last Night at the Telegraph Club by Melinda Lowe. And definitely the book that I'm looking most forward to is Kiss and Tell by Adib Khorram.
My favorite book of 2021 so far has to be Curses by Lish McBride, and my most anticipated book for 2022 is A Heavy Dose of Allison Tandy by debut author Jeff Bishop, which you definitely should add to your TBR. And thanks again for having me. This was super fun, and I'm really excited for y'all to read all these cool books.
Those are some amazing choices. My favorite read of 2021, still to come for everybody, is The Righteous by Renee Artier. Can I tell you how much she expands the world in this book series of the beautiful? It keeps getting better, the stakes keep lifting, the swooniness keeps lifting, and for those of you who loved Pippa and Arjun from the previous two books, this is their time to shine. This is their moment, so look out for that. And my most anticipated is All the Rage by SABAA TAHIR. This book will do things to your heart that you are not ready for, but also is just SABAA TAHIR at her elite awesome best as a writer. If you loved the way she crafted her characters in An Ember in the Ashes and the emotional resonance they have, then look out for All My Rage, because she does this in a contemporary setting that will make you cry, will make you laugh. You'll end up feeling hopeful, but like a good SABAA TAHIR book, it will leave you with a lot of feelings. So look out for that in March of 2022. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining the show today of the Penguin Teen Spring 2022 preview. As I said, these are just a glimpse of some of the titles that are coming for a Penguin Teen for the next year. So make sure you follow us on social media, where you can see all the latest, greatest news, including cover reveals, title announcements, big name authors that are coming to our Penguin Teen, so much more info to come. So stand by, and otherwise, we'll see you soon. Bye.